what would you say would be the most interesting part of your journey?
The levels itself in ACCA. Each level was a new challenge.
So, what did the day in your life look like? How did you compartmentalize?
I also happened to be a procrastinator, so I would be like 5 minute baad, kal karte hain. Initially, it looks like, oh, okay, it's just application based. You can write anything, but that's actually really difficult to apply what you have learned in a real life scenario. So there was a time when I was severely ill, because of which I couldn't give an exam. Ultimately, consistency and discipline really helps. Focusing on college lectures and keeping up with ACCA lectures at the same time really helps.
Hi, today I'm in conversation with Pooja Shekhar. Pooja has been a dedicated student of synthesis learning. She's just completed her ACCA qualification in December 2023 and she has been awarded the All India Rank 1 as an ACCA affiliate. Now, usually the ACCA, when you complete your qualification, adds up the marks of all the 13 papers or as many papers you have written and calculates a score and issues top three ranks, and she has stood number one in India. And I think it's a very proud moment for her, her family, and of course all of us at Synthesis Learning that had the opportunity to support her in her ACCA journey. I wanted to give Pooja the platform today to share her journey, her experiences, her challenges, and some tips she's got for so many ACCA students out there who are preparing for exams and will soon complete the qualification. So, hi Pooja.
Hello.
Today I'm so excited to talk to you. While as a student, we've been speaking often, through your journey. But I think today I feel so happy to hear what's really worked for you. What's been your recipe of success? So let's start with आपने अपना ACCA qualification I think start किया 2020 में, if I'm not
Yes.
wrong, right? And this was the heat of COVID. So the first few years were super challenging with how everything was taking shape, and I think the second half of your journey got much smoother. So tell me a little bit about how did you come to know about ACCA and what the 3 years looked like for you to complete the qualification.
So during my degree college, actually I came to know about it through synthesis learning itself. They were hosting a boot camp in my college.
And you went to which college?
SIS Nerul.
SIS Naval. Okay.
And that's how I came to know about ACCA. So that really piqued my interest. It was something new to me. So I researched more into it and then decided to go ahead with it.
You decided to go ahead with it. So how many years did you take to complete your ACCA?
It took me exactly 3 years to complete ACCA. Yes.
3 years. So I'm assuming you stuck to the discipline of doing one paper a quarter,
Definitely.
4 exams a year, and that's how you would have completed your 12, 13 papers in a
Yes.
span of 3 years. So, when you look back on your journey, what would you say would be the most interesting part of your journey, and what would be the most challenging part of your journey?
The most interesting part was the levels itself in ACCA. Each level was a new challenge. Each level held something new and different. And with each level, it was like stepping stones.
Mhm.
It was a new challenge at every level. The challenging aspect was, so the great thing about ACCA was you could give exams on a quarterly basis. You can do it on a one by one basis. So that was really great, focusing on one paper. But the challenge about that was that you have to do so much within a span of 3 months.
The edge of your seat.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to do so many things. You have to go through the study text, study kit. You have to give the mocks. You have to give the test. So that was challenging. There were times when I felt a bit exhausted and do I want to continue doing this? But then at the end of the day, it's a challenge that you have to go through. Nothing comes easy. And ultimately, when you see your results early in the morning that you've passed, everything feels like it's worth it.
It's like a milestone, right? I think what I love about the qualification is that because you're doing one paper at a time, I think every paper that you clear is like one
Yeah.
milestone. You're moving to the next step. So I think that is an amazing
Yes.
feeling. And at any point in time where you feel you're sort of giving up, but you look at what's done,
Exactly.
it sort of pushes you to move forward, right? I totally agree with that. And which was your favorite paper in the ACCA qualification?
My favorite paper was actually SBL,
Okay.
in which I had gotten Air 2.
AIR 2.
Yes.
Okay.
SBL was initially very daunting for us because there was no structure at all.
Okay.
It was very.
It's one case study, right?
Exactly. It's one case study. When I gave it, it was 4 hours long. So that was also a daunting aspect. But then ultimately, we realized that there is so much to that paper. It's not just limited to a textbook. There is so much knowledge that goes into it. There is so much to apply. And you can answer on your using your own rationale and still get marks for it. So that was a very real paper.
It's real, very real time.
Yeah.
And I think these ACCA papers are a lot different from the way the colleges and universities and other Indian qualifications test, because they're very real time.
Definitely, yes.
How was the experience writing online exams?
It was very, so we weren't used to that structure, but with each level, like I said, it was a slow progress with each level, these online exams, and ultimately we had gotten used to tools like Excel and Word, and that was really a good experience.
So you think that's prepared you adequately to
Yes.
do the job that you're going to be getting into?
Yes.
You think so? Okay. Uh, when I talk to a lot of students doing ACCA or any qualification for that matter, I think all are very overwhelmed with the way they are managing their day. Right? You're going to a college, you have graduation, then you have to prepare for exams. Like if you're doing ACCA, you're doing an exam every 3 months. You're always at the edge of your seat, and you have a personal life to manage. So what did a day in your life look like? How did you compartmentalize?
So initially it was very challenging managing both college and ACCA together, but ultimately consistency and discipline really helps. Focusing on college lectures and keeping up with ACCA lectures at the same time really helps. You not letting things pile up is very convenient, because
And how do you ensure things don't pile up? What did you do to ensure that that doesn't happen?
I ensure that I keep up with the lectures. I give tests on a timely basis. I study little every day.
Okay.
So I start early so that it doesn't pile up at the end. So that really helps.
So if you're attending class for a couple of sessions in the week, you ensure that you go back and do that at home as well, right? Because ACC exams ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने last 2 weeks में पढ़ाई कर ली and you clear. It doesn't work that way. You'll have to
You have to stay up to date with each session, and that really helps in the end.
Really helps. Wonderful. And what do you think is your recipe for success that worked? So if I have to ask you to share a few tips with students preparing for ACC exams now, what are those 4-5 things you will surely tell them are must do's that will help them get the kind of result that, let's say, you got?
There are some factors. Firstly, consistency is very important. Like I said, doing a little every day goes very far. It really helps. So it's staying up to date with your sessions and staying up to date with the lectures helps. Secondly, there are lots of tools and resources available on the internet, such as the ACCA practice platform, that help you practice mocks, time-based exams. So
Which is very vital
Yes.
before you go for exams. Right?
Not only does it prepare you for the exam setting itself, it helps with your time management, which is very, very crucial in the exams. You can find yourself struggling for a minute in the end. So that is really important. And then next comes the study text and study kits. I would really emphasize upon them, doing them at least 2 to 3 times, because it really helps. It prepares you. A lot of the things you learn from the study text itself, study text and exam kits. So they really teach you well.
Okay. And I think the study hub was another resource that the ACC introduced, but I think it came towards the end of the qualification. Did you happen to use that?
No, because by that time I was already on my last paper, but I wish it had been introduced earlier, because it's really helpful. Yes, it has chapter-wise tests and exams, so that's very helpful.
Basically studying the study text and the exam kit 2 to 3 times, writing regular progress tests which your coaching provider will hold, doing those 2-3 mock exams on the CBE practice platform are the essentials.
Definitely. To top it off, reading the examiner's report and latest technical articles also really help. It gives you an insight into what are people doing wrong and how can you avoid that.
I think that's a very interesting thing. It'll add another perspective.
Exactly.
Examiner reports and technical articles.
Yes.
So these 4-5 things are a must do for ACCA students when they're taking exam. And ये सिर्फ discipline के साथ ही हो सकता है.
Yes.
Because अगर आपको यही चीज करना है 4 times a year, for 2 years or 3 years or whatever your journey really looks like, it calls for a lot of discipline. But there are a lot of students in general who feel that ACCA exams are easy because they give you exemptions, or they're easy because the pass rates are high. Is that a myth you want to bust? Are the exams really easy?
No. So initially, like any other course, initially it's on the lighter side. But as the levels increase, so does the challenge, so does the difficulty. The professional level, initially it looks like, oh, okay, it's just application based. You can write anything. But that's actually really difficult to apply what you have learned in a real life scenario. So that was a challenging aspect, but it also teaches you a lot of things.
Very interesting. And if I have to sort of go back and ask you, what has been the most memorable experience of studying at Synthesis Learning? What's going to be like a memory for you?
For me, the memory is definitely going to be the offline lectures.
Okay.
The online lectures were great as well. They were interactive, but offline lecture had a
On the
different
campus.
yes, different vibe to it altogether. It was really interactive, seeing your peers, seeing your professors, being in touch with them, and hands-on learning. So nothing can top that off.
Okay, interesting. So that's the most memorable part of your.
Definitely.
So one more challenge, Pooja, which I've seen a lot of ACCA students have in their journey is that क्योंकि you're doing an exam a quarter, ऐसा बहुत बार होता है that आपका BCom exam clash हो जाता है and you can't you don't know what to do and you skip the paper. Sometimes you fall in ill, some exam. Sometimes there's a wedding in the family. We have a lot of distractions. And when you skip an exam, आपका calendar, आपका schedule लेवाया हो जाता है, right? Because आपका class तो एक तरीके से आगे बढ़ रहा है, लेकिन आपका exam schedule अलग हो रहा है. And then I've often seen that's when it starts to get messy for students. And that usually happens with everybody. Has there been any such incident with you where your schedules went haywire or you had distractions, and how did you deal with it to still keep up with the discipline?
So there was a time when I was severely ill, because of which I couldn't give an exam, and I felt really bad about it that I'm missing an attempt. But thankfully there was the flexibility, so I decided to give 2 papers at a time.
Okay.
But obviously giving 2 papers at a time is a very challenging task. But again, discipline comes into place where you have to give dedicated time to both the papers. And the mindset that I want to get it out of the way is really important, because you don't want it to, keep postponing it.
So you skipped an attempt, but the next attempt you ensured you gave two and you came back
Yes.
with your.
Yes, I was able to pass them both because I was able to manage them.
So ये होता है, ये सब
Yes.
स्टूडेंट्स के साथ कभी ना कभी 3 years में होता है कि something may happen and आपका schedule लेवाया जाएगा. And I think the message is loud and clear to students that don't panic. It's okay. It's very normal and natural that if you made a schedule for yourself for your exams, one odd exam can
Yeah.
be up and down and you have to be okay. But then the other exams or the other factors in control, you have to then hold tight and be
Yes,
disciplined.
you have to manage them well.
Yeah, because I've so many times seen students that they preparation नहीं हुआ है एग्जाम नहीं बुक करेंगे. अब वो नहीं होना चाहिए. जो
नहीं,
आपके
yeah.
कंट्रोल में that you should not be lazy about. What is not in your control, you have no choice.
And you should know that it's better to get it out of the way rather than letting it, pile up or postponing it.
Were there any other distractions, and how did you deal with it?
So there were several distractions. There would always be events around me. There would be family gatherings, and I also happen to be a procrastinator. So I would be like 5 minute baad, kal karte hain. But then that kal never arrives. You need to push yourself to get things done, which is why what I would do was I would work on a task basis, that I want to complete this task, not a day by day schedule, because that usually doesn't happen. That 1 hour for this, 1 hour for that. I would do it on a task basis, that I need to get these things done today itself. So I set a target for myself like that and push myself to get it done. Then there is a relief ki, I'm done with my task for the day. Now I can chill.
Right. So compartmentalizing, right?
Yes.
And I think we all have family distractions, social media distractions. We have 10 things that
Yeah,
bother us, but really having the mental strength to say a no to those. And
Yeah. It's very difficult to get out of that. But once you do it, there is a flow to it.
Interesting. And I think one last question. So, what do you plan to do now, Pooja? How do you plan to apply all that you've studied now to your workplace? What kind of jobs are you looking at?
I will be looking into finance roles, because I feel like that can be my forte, and I can apply my learning there more productively and efficiently.
And do you feel confident that the ACCA has empowered you with those fundamental knowledge and skills that you need to sort of at least start off that first?
Definitely. ACCA, because it's been a mixture of real life application and knowledge, it really shapes you up and helps you become a well-rounded individual and professional. So I feel my knowledge can really help me in the real life world.
Wonderful. So I think, Pooja, the message I want to sort of make very loud and clear to so many students is that nothing is a substitute for consistency.
Definitely.
I think the ACCA exams are about smart work, perseverance and consistency, the ability to do the same thing 4 times a year and keep going on is what is very, very important. It's like a ritual, right? Like you have a ritual of doing your study text, you have a ritual of practicing your exam kits, you have a ritual of doing a few mock exams, you have the ritual of seeing your exam reports. If you follow those rituals consistently, you can get AIR1. And I think that's the lesson that Pooja teaches
Yes, yes,
all of us.
definitely.
So thank you, Pooja. I wish you a lot of luck on the on your way. I hope that everything that we've empowered you with, you will go and apply it in your jobs, and also make your employer proud of having you as an employee in his or her organization.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me here today.